When to eat? How frequently should you eat? What is the optimal eating schedule? We're going to get into that. This is Robin, a nutritionist, and I work with women over 40 to help us thrive in our body and reduce symptoms and concerns related to hormonal imbalances. All right, let's answer the question. When to eat? How frequently? And there's this conflict between should you eat within an hour of waking up? Should you fast? What should you do? So there's a couple of ways that you want to approach it. The first way that you want to approach is looking at what is your goal, your lifestyle, and what you were trying to achieve. I spent so many years in my 30s eating within an hour of waking up. So, as a woman you all over 40, if you're listening, and now in my 50s, there's some different train of thought there. So hear me out when I say you would want to eat within an hour of waking up or first thing if you need to take a medication that requires you to eat. Okay. Also, you would eat first thing in the morning or within an hour or soon if you are going to work out. So if you're going to do heavy lifting, you're an athlete, then you need the fuel in your body in order to do what you need to do, which, by the way, should be very, very protein rich. So definitely if you have medication, definitely if you're going to do some heavy, strenuous working out. But if you have metabolic challenges, what are metabolic challenges? So that shows up as high blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar problems, so insulin resistance, overweight, those are signs of metabolic issues. In that case, looking into or testing out intermittent fasting, which means that you are eating during a certain time and then you're not eating during a certain time. The simplest way, the least stressful way is to start with 12 hours. So, for example, you've eaten your last meal at 8 o'clock and now you resume eating at 8 o'clock in the morning. That gives you 12 hours. I fast a little longer, but that's a place to start. So if you eat at 8 o'clock, then you're eating again at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? So is that within an hour of waking up? Maybe. Is that a little bit longer after you wake up? Maybe. It depends on your lifestyle, but that 12 hours, most of which you would be sleeping, gives your body a break. So this is what happens when you have metabolic challenges, meaning that you're insulin resistant overall, your blood sugar is not being balanced. When we're eating, most of what we're eating are carbohydrates, rice, bread, pastas, popcorn, cereals, chips, more carbohydrates. Our body uses what it can, and the rest turns into sugar stores as fat. Like ultimately, our body uses the carbohydrates as energy, and whatever's left, it does not use, it stores. When you are fasting, it gives your body an opportunity to go into the storage and pull it out and detoxify your body and balance your blood sugar and do all those things. Because when you're eating, it's in the process of using it and storing it, using it and storing it. When you're not eating, it's going into the storage and cleaning out the storage theoretically, right? So that is why if you have a metabolic challenge, you're trying to balance that blood sugar. And when you're not insulin resistant or the blood sugar is balanced, it is a good domino effect on all the things that can happen in your body. So at the very least, go into not eating for 12 hours. And that is simple from 8 to 8, or it could be 7 to 7 or 6 to 6, whatever works for you, but at minimum 12 hours. So then the other part is, okay, well, how many times a day should I eat? So let's just keep it simple. Let's say you're eating 3 times a day: meal one, meal two, meal three. Lunch is the second one, dinner be the third meal, right? 3 meals a day. without snacking. And I'm going to share that with you. So I eat at around 11 or 12, and then I eat my second meal at around 3 or 4, and then I eat my last meal at around 8. So I'm eating at 8, and then I go to bed around midnight. I wake up, and I don't eat my first meal until around 11 or 12. Now, during that time when I wake up, I'm drinking water. I'm drinking a tea. I drink a tea that actually helps my appetite. And that is what I do. But if you're eating 3 meals a day, and let's say you're going 12 hours, you stop eating at 8, you resume at 8, and you're gonna have 3 meals a day. Here's the tricky part, because I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. So let's say you eat around 9 o'clock, then you eat your lunch around 1 or 2, and then you have your dinner around 7. So that could work. There's 3 meals in there, but without snacking. Why without snacking? So I recommend that. And we're so accustomed to snacking. When you're snacking, or when you're not snacking, you're giving your body the chance to use the food that you ate, process it, do what it needs to do, and you just give your body a break. So remember, we're trying to go in and get the storage out and use it. But if you're snacking, you're just always, 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 your body's working, working, working. So the intention is to get up to 3 meals a day. And I know this, you might say, well, I get shaky. That's a whole conversation. And part of what I do is I help women over 40 come up with a strategy. I am a mentor, I'm a guide, and we come up with a tactical strategy based on what you're trying to achieve and your lifestyle so that it makes more sense to you. So as I record this video, it really is general, right? Because I'm talking to you, but for the fact that you're over 40, I don't know your habits and your thoughts and your concerns. So this is general in nature. But when you're not snacking, and I have tools to help you with getting through the day without snacking. Because the question is, why are you snacking? Are you snacking because you're really hungry? And if that's the case, we can add more food to your meals. Are you snacking because you're bored, or it's an emotional reaction? Because you have to ask yourself, am I really hungry, or is this a habit? If I'm just used to this. So that's another story in itself. But the goal is to let your body process what it ate and give your body the chance to go into the storage, your stored sugars and things, pull it out so that it can heal your body. So, how often should you eat? Generally, 3 times a day without snacks. And you should eat within an hour of waking up if you have a medication, or if you're going to work out and you need that fuel. But if you are working on healing blood pressure, cholesterol, weight, A1C, insulin resistance, then I would recommend going into intermittent fasting, starting with 12 hours. I go up to I do 14, 15 hours, sometimes 16. And it has made a world of difference. I just got my blood work done, and a couple of years ago, so my A1C is beautiful. It was 5.4, but now it's 5.2, since I really just cracked down even more, because when our blood sugar is out of control, it leads to all kinds of other things being out of control. To keep it simple, how frequent you should eat really just depends on what's going on, what medications, how your activity level. But if you are trying or desiring to reduce inflammation, get your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your cholesterol, your metabolic health in order, intermittent fasting is what I recommend. And again, there's a lot of information out there. People saying all kinds of stuff all the time. Make sure that when you are eating, it is protein rich. That is super beneficial for how your carbohydrates process. I mean, there's so much that goes into this whole live your best life through nutrition. But I have been doing this for 17 years, thousands of women, and then myself. I was pre-diabetic, overweight, and all kinds of things. And I am an expert in helping myself and then also supporting you. So if you want to stay in touch, there's several ways to do that. One of them is to subscribe if you haven't. I always do these videos, like it, comment. I definitely will respond. And also I'll put my social media handles and websites and all that below, but you can be a part of my ecosystem in that way. I send out some messages that I want to say are beneficial with regards to health and nutrition for women over 40. And if you want to go a little deeper and you want to be a part of the Necessary Nutrition community and meet with me one-on-one to come up with your health and nutrition strategy, we can do that too. All right, so there you go. If you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know. This is Robin-Nutritionist, also the creator of Necessary Nutrition, Vitamin D3 with K2, which is something that I recommend. Vitamin D, you can find videos here all about why vitamin D is super important for us. Really, really is. And I hope that you take your vitamin D on a regular basis and you know what your vitamin D levels are. All right. Peace and blessings. Eat well, think well, and be well. This is Robin, Necessary Nutrition. Take care.